My name's Chad Mance. I'm the lawyer for the family and the estate of Shontre Grant. Shontre Grant was killed, unfortunately, by unknown gunmen some time ago. It will have been 6 months as of a few days ago since the date of his death. If you guys don't know, Shontre Grant was a well-known community activist. He was an anti-violence advocate, and he devoted his life to prevent unnecessary violence. We have recently filed a notice of lawsuit with the city of Savannah, basically alleging that there is reason to believe that his death was preventable with respect to no security measures or inadequate security measures having been taken at the time of his death. The purpose of this press conference is to answer any questions in connection with that and to clarify any propositions that might be floating out there about what happened to him, about the nature of what's going on, about what we can expect in the future, and more importantly and primarily to make sure that Shontre's death does not go in vain, and to make sure that the pursuit of justice for Shontre Grant and his family continues, and that people with knowledge and information about the gunman can come forward. We know that there could have been a greater security presence on the premises. We know that there could have been more cameras on the premises, for example. We know that there could have been more adequate notices given to the residents on the premises. And bear in mind that where this happened, it was a notorious area. And everybody knows about Hitch Village, or the old Hitch Village. The name kind of precedes itself. And this was really a part, this being the redevelopment of the old Hitch Village, as we understand it, was a part of a larger effort to try to rehabilitate the property and the residents and try to remedy crime. But unfortunately, we've seen that Shontre passed away as a result of some things that probably could have been better on the premises. As we understand it, there's been very little information exchanged to the family, and that's not an impropriety on the police's part. As we understand it, you know, nobody wants to really come forward about what happened out of fear of reprisal and other things. We do know that there probably are some leads out there floating around, but the nature and quality of the information is not what the authorities would desire, and so we're continuing to urge the public to have the suspects come forward or to release any information about the suspects that might be out there. Well, we sent out a notice of lawsuit, and that notice is sent to the city of Savannah, is sent to the Housing Authority, was sent to LEDIC, Property Management Group, was sent to No Punches Pulled Security, and it was sent to any folks out there that had a hand or that should have had a hand in creating more adequate, robust, effective security on the property. Okay, so you filed the notice. Are you suing or not? This is where we are. We still have a lot of investigation to do because we haven't found the gunman, and the gunmen are a big part of the theories that could emerge in this case. And while we have significant factual evidence to substantiate our notice, we still have to do some additional investigation before we announce a lawsuit.
But this is the first step.
This is the first step. And this is a statutory constitutional requirement. So every city has due process rights. You can't just sue a city, for example, without giving it notice of the allegations against it. You know, the notice is the notice, and we kind of stand by the notice. We do not want to interfere with an ongoing investigation, obviously, that the district attorney and authorities are conducting. The very essence of the notice is that basically gunmen should not be allowed to be comfortable committing a murder on private property. They shouldn't be familiar enough with the private property to commit the murder, and there should be greater presence in a high crime area for residents that really had no clue. I mean, Chantre was a new resident in this place. It wasn't like he had been there for years, even though he's a long-standing member of our community. We don't want to interfere with the authorities' findings in this case, though. I'll allow the family members to introduce themselves.
My name is Terry Grant. I'm DeAndre's oldest sister.
I am Latasha Davis Grant. I am Dion Grant's wife.
And on behalf of all the other family members who had to work here today, they send their best wishes to everybody, and they want you guys to know that what Chantre stood for was the ending of unnecessary violence in our community. And that's why the family feels so adamantly about getting answers and aggressively pursuing justice, because that's what he stood for.